Hello, myself Sunil Ramshaw here with here discussing topic that is education basically we are discussing one of the topic that is India and India and basically we are discussing one of the topic that is SBI Amazon account and the after 2 days basically the big earthquake is going to come to India. That topic actually which is on. In this basically we are discussing about the lava data and the lava data basically connection basically connected with up to the level basically. In this basically we discuss lots of things. Basically. In this basically we discuss that basically Amazon how basically started his journey. Amazon basically how he started his journey that we have discussed how basically the AWS basically started his journey basically how basically the Amazon Web Services basically told that basically we are going to give you these all services and they are going to charge some amount basically that each and everything basically we saw in that basically we saw that also that in for example one customer basically is from India and he basically want to deploy one function basically in AWS. He basically told them basically yes, basically I want to do this. Then that basically he selected the American account and that basically we want to deploy in America. But in really basically that was not America. That was in India. That also basically we saw. Why? Because management is everything. How the things are managed. That is the main thing. So there are many things basically which are hidden. That also you can see. That basically we are not discussing, but that is very dangerous thing. That is very dangerous, which might possible that basically government also might have conflict between these. So that is basically government issue basically. But in if basically anything will happen with it, then government only will be responsible. But who is going to ask government? That is the question. So that is basically Supreme Court will say that basically we are there, basically. But you have only passed this. No? You have only passed with this. You have only passed. With. Then basically how it got implemented. So that is basically it's a one circle basically. So you can say like that. So one of the person told that that is not our topic. So that is some totally different topic basically. That might be some management basically. That how basically things are basically getting managed. So here basically same about the management side. In management, one of the person told that yeah, Sunil basically do you know basically the child which is going to happen basically that is 100 crore. In that basically one of the Microsoft person basically that is the Bill Gates basically. He's the owner of the Microsoft basically. He told that "Hey, we have 1 crore data. We have that data also, which this is the child, this is the child. Means we have the entire structure of 1 crore. So he, the person basically was shocked here. But how that is basically technological basically how it becomes so powerful basically. That Microsoft like person basically that is a top 10 very richest person basically. He basically have the entire data of 1 crore basically that this child basically is going to look like this. So 1 crore child actually he designed it in the software basically. So that was shocking basically. But when we basically went to satellite basically, they told something totally different basically. That was the child basically which is going to happen basically. That is 1 crore which Bill Gates basically has designed also each and every structure basically has designed. That is already taken the birth basically, somewhere in the planet basically. And he told that their journey basically each and every story worry whatever thing basically is going to generate from that 1 crore 1 crore and 100 crore basically that is already generated and they have done their user stories also so that was more shocking that was really more shocking so when we go a little bit more upper basically there basically things are totally different basically then one of the person told that hey हमने तो पहले से सब whatever thing basically that 100 crore child is going to happen na basically that we have already designed basically. Then one of the person told that what about the Sunil R Nair basically next generation. That basically one of the person told that that basically need to check yeah basically whether the really basically in that planet basically Sunil R Nair next generation basically has ended by Indian nationality. Sorry, there basically Indian nationality is not there. In that planet, basically, they have ended the singular next generation or not. Because here, basically, in India, basically, the Indian nationality has ended singular next generation. So, in really, basically, they are not ended. Just I'm taking one user story, basically. So, that basically what I want to discuss, basically, that can be understand basically very easily. So, one of the person told that, यार मतलब ये सही है या गलत है मतलब we are not able to we are totally confused. One person told that Microsoft told that भाई हमारे पास तो पूरा डेटा है. We have the 1 crore child. The child is going to be look like this, that. Basically, his height will be like this. His eye basically will be like this. He's going to look like this. Then basically, when we asked the satellite group, basically, they told totally different. Basically. They told that the 100 crore and this 1 crore which child is going to come, basically, their ideas are already different. So one of the person told that the computer which was going to come, sorry, which was going to come long before, basically, which was going to come, that was already, idea was already defined basically by someone. So that was not shocking, basically. That was really shocking, basically. So one of the person told that whatever thing basically we do or basically we are doing, that is already tested by someone. That is also thing basically. Yeah? Because nuclear power companies say that basically we are controlling the brain. But you are taking data from where basically? That is also thing basically. You are basically getting data from satellite basically. From universe basically. They are getting data from where basically. When we thought little bit more detail basically, that time it was like that 100 crore child which was going to come basically. That is already taken the birth and basically they become young and the child is also generated and then basically sorry they already become young they basically sorry they become already child and then basically young and then basically they get into the older age and then they died also there. That user story is already generated. That exact replica basically of user story is dumped into the earth planet and that ideas are connected to the that planet. And here the main thing is the trees basically which you can see na basically the coconut tree, the bamboo tree, the banyan tree, the neem tree, neem pata. There are lots of more than one like types of trees basically are there. So these all data basically are coming from where basically because seeds, beach basically that only is supposed to come from the human body basically. So there basically the data has processed. When lots of people says that they are getting, they basically got idea from Earth, planet, sea, water. So that was more shocking basically. Because whatever thing basically they are going to produce and they are producing for Earth planet, so they are also basically supposed to get data from Earth planet only. So that is the rule, that is the condition basically. So data was from because there is only one way basically that is sea water. Basically. There is no other basically way because lava data basically can't reach up to that area because up to that level communication channel basically is not created in universe. Might be possible basically. Because there is only one way that is water basically. So the water basically because sea water basically contains everything from world started to till now basically world is ongoing. So you can just able to imagine basically up to what level the stuff basically are connected basically. So one of the person to say मतलब really है क्या just you are just doing the bundle basically. That is also shocking yeah basically मतलब then one of the person told that यार the scientist group also basically told that basically really वैसे मतलब ऐसा है सही है कि just क्या काम क्या क्या. The American scientists also basically told. The NASA ISRO also basically started thinking basically because lots of missiles are also dumped from Earth planet. That means some group basically are doing this stuff. Basically. Some groups are doing this stuff. So one of the person told that your generation basically was ended in Mumbai. So that was also done by some group basically. Then that was basically 100% correct. That was basically not Mumbai basically by Indian nationality because all India is one that basically everybody knows. So your generation basically which has ended basically in Mumbai city. So that was also basically done long before in that planet basically. That was shocking basically. That means basically I am going to drink today this many water. That was also done long before basically. That is not shocking basically. So that is exact replica basically. In English basically there is word called replica, but there are some. This is actually technical word basically. But English word basically might be something basically, but I am not getting that word. So there might be some word basically that we. I currently basically I don't know that word basically which word I should use here basically. So one of the person told that the real में यार मतलब we are basically shocked basically. We are not getting anything. What actually you want to say? Confused basically. One of the person told that we are totally confused. That means the things basically which we have designed, the world basically we have created, that is totally wrong basically you want to say. The group who designed the world, that is God group only designed the world basically, right? That means the God group, not entire God group basically. Few God group only basically designed the world. Basically. That means their people basically has done some wrong basically. Or basically this need to modify basically. Or if you will tell anything basically to that group, basically they will head damage your head, they will damage your eye. Then basically they will say that basically why you basically told like this. Otherwise, basically it will create problem to universe only. I will not tell basically, then universe will group basically will tell one day basically. But why you have done like this basically? But that basically is the everything is connected basically. So universe group basically can't do the mistake basically. But they trusted Earth planet basically. That was the basically mistake or basically I don't know. They trusted America basically. When America told that basically we trusted India, and India will say that basically we trusted China. China will say that basically we trusted Japan. Japan will say that basically we trusted Italy. Italy will say that basically we trusted Dubai. Dubai will say that basically we trusted that group, this group, this group. So entire basically chain basically is connected. Dubai examples basically you have saw the communication channel basically. The visa department basically not informed that basically that person basically has not came basically due to that only the season basically rain activation basically happens. He was not came basically. He actually not came on time. Basically. He came after certain days. So till then basically till that time basically the Dubai government basically that is the season department basically who's handling the season. He blasted 7 to 8 times cloud blasting. In that basically Dubai king also basically was not aware. Because his money was ongoing, so he was supposed to aware basically. His money was getting deducted, so he was supposed to aware actually. That is also possible. Or basically he might have trusted other people basically. That is also possible because because rich people basically give the authority of them to somebody else and say that basically you do my task. So they have done that task. See, basically. Then basically one of the person told that Dubai, Sunil basically this exactly connects to your story basically. Then Sunil Larna told that what basically? One of the satellite person basically. Then Sunil Larna, the satellite person told that you basically went to Dubai, sorry, went to Mumbai. Then yes, yes, basically, for job purpose. Yeah, basically. How many group basically helped you? Not a single person basically helped you. I mean, it was a totally Bollywood group basically. Not a single Bollywood group basically, not a single software company helped Sunil Larna. That was Indian national. Not a single group basically helped Sunil Larna. So anybody helped you? No, basically nobody helped you. So exactly this is connected to that only. In Dubai also basically that king basically got along. He was single person basically. Nobody helped him basically. Otherwise basically he might not be in this big trouble basically. But that is one thing basically that he's not supposed to pay anything. Why? Because he's not taking the tax. That is the thing basically which is done. But if it would be in some other country basically where tax are very taken, then basically government has to pay the tax. In that basically they can't blame to the visa department basically. That visa department you are not informed to us basically. Because it's not their duty basically. That is not a duty of visa department basically. That is not a visa department duty that basically they have to inform this to that this person basically has not came to not do the cloud blast. How basically they know that basically cloud blast is happening basically? That is also a question basically. Anybody will say that basically visa department has done the mistake. Then how they know that basically the cloud blasting is happening 7 to 8 times basically it has happened. They are not God basically. Even basically God also basically gets the information only basically because they have set of planets power basically. So that is also thing basically. So one of the person told that so communication channel basically was not good basically. So this connects to one more thing basically. I will take one more example basically of this. Just a minute, I will just tell you. So this example is assume that basically there are 3 to 4 people basically working in one of the software company. 3 people basically in assume that basically 4 people are there. So owner basically thought that basically there are 4 people basically working. So I am basically not supposed to aware of that project. In that basically one of the person basically got a little bit some disease basically he got. Some disease means some serious disease, but he never say that basically I have basically some serious disease. Why? Because his habit basically. So he actually got health checker also, and he basically was that person basically I'm talking. He was basically in head checker for 4 hours basically. Up to that level strong basically that person is. So that person basically I'm talking about. 4 hours basically you can just imagine basically. 4 hours basically if anybody head basically gets damaged, continuous 4 hours basically. So somebody has damaged that head for 4 hours continuously basically. He was sitting at the computer, he or she basically was sitting at the computer and damaging his head basically. Damage. Like this basically he was doing for 4 to 5 hours. This everything is done basically that we are not discussing. So the problem basically is what happened. That person basically got some disease and he basically went for holiday. That he informed to that 3 people also basically. But here what happened basically, that 3 people also basically got some disease because they had some food basically from outside. So in that time basically, next day basically, the person who got disease basically, he basically was so hardworking basically that he never taken the holiday also basically. So that was one thing basically. So he basically all four basically are in holiday now basically. Now basically all four people basically are in holiday. They basically went. Now basically the company owner basically told that company owner basically got one call basically. Arey bhai, there is no one person basically for the. where basically I can solve my problem basically for this project. So he was shocked basically. There are four people basically, and all four people are absent. So he got angry basically. In that basically, the three people basically were very smart basically, but the first person basically were not smart basically. He was Sida Sada. He was Sida Sada. So he basically called by the HR people and told that basically, भाई तू इधर आ सकता है basically one basically we want to discuss something. He never thought basically that the termination letter basically was typed by the company owner. But that time basically he was not feeling well basically. He can't basically stand also basically. That type of condition basically was there. But he then also basically he visited the office basically. 5 hours head checker basically. Up to that much powerful basically that person is basically. So he basically went to office and then basically he got the termination letter basically. He was shocked. He basically thought that basically he might have got some promotion letter basically. But in that basically promotion letter was not there. That was a termination letter. So this is not my story basically. I'm just telling about one company story, and that is basically a real story basically. So that person basically was shocked basically. He got termination letter basically. He taken 2 days holiday basically. Sorry, 3 days I think. 3 days holiday basically, and he was not able to stand also basically. Up, no, up to that condition basically went to office and he basically got the termination letter. Basically. So one of the person told that 5 hours chakkar basically that up to that level basically he was powerful basically. So that standing position was not he was not able to stand. That was nothing basically. So that was also basically done damaged by the some group basically. He was damaging from computer basically, sitting from computer basically. Damaging his head basically from sitting computer basically. Head damage, head damage. So this was also like that. So this is communication basically. Best example of the communication. Here also same thing basically happened in Dubai basically. This connects to my story also basically. I went there to Mumbai and not a single Indian nationality basically helped Sunilar Nair. Not a single Indian businessman basically helped Sunilar Nair. So this connects to that Dubai person also. That is the king basically. That time basically he might have that time basically he might have thought here basically nobody helped me here basically. Not a single Indian nationality also helped because there are lots of Indian people basically. Most of basically I think more than 50% of people basically in Dubai are Indian basically. Not a single Indian nationality basically helped that Dubai king. That was shocking basically. By that king also basically. Then basically he thought yeah basically there are 50, more than 50% Indian nationality in Dubai basically. What I am basically what they are doing here basically. They might have got the information also basically. That 7 to 8 times basically cloud blasting has happened because in ISRO basically they keeps the information of each and every country basically wherever basically the Indian nationality are staying. So they are also not informed this Dubai basically. So he basically started thinking basically, yeah, basically what should I do now basically? Because 50 percentage Indian nationality are with Dubai basically, and nobody helped the Dubai king basically. He was also shocked basically. But that time basically it was good that basically he was not taking the tax. So that story basically exactly connects to my story. That in Dubai, in Mumbai, basically I went it for job purpose, and not a single basically software company helped Sunil Arnair. And same basically in Bangalore also. So one of the person told that this is also same situation basically. The 100 crore child basically is going to have come basically. That user story is already generated with in that planet basically. That means I want to say that basically the 100 crore child basically that is 100% going to birth. So until the life circle basically, one life circle will not complete basically, the world will never end. That basically is the user story basically. That basically I want to say. So one of the person told that the life cycle basically which is ongoing basically that you have to track. So whenever the life cycle basically is going to complete basically, that time basically you have to be very serious. So universe will group will activate that 100 crore child or they will not end. They will not activate. So that's why basically one of the person told that the software company basically is going to play very dangerous role basically. But they have also not done that. In Dubai basically they were supposed to do that basically. In Mumbai basically they were supposed to give job to Sunil Arnav basically, but they had not given. Few people says that they might have blocked your resume basically. Or basically it might possible they might have blocked your biodata or basically they might have blocked your mobile number basically, with the help of police department. Because police department nowadays basically doing this type of task basically. They don't have any task. That is a cyber group basically. That is behind it. Because police department basically never comes in front basically. They always play behind basically. So another person told me, "Papa, ये जो मतलब this thing basically which you told basically that मतलब really that is correct basically." For example, in Indian Army basically, just see basically to what level things are going to connect. In Indian Army basically, I will take one more example basically. When basically I was in Mumbai basically, I basically done complaint of one of the consultant basically. That basically he has taken my money and he actually not helped me. Basically. That basically one complaint basically I given to Mumbai Police Department. They basically thrown that complaint basically in dustbin basically. You will not able to believe that. And they are telling that basically that is not our task basically. चल निकल ले यहाँ से. That type of word basically they have told. That is Mumbai Police. That is Marathi group basically. That sorry, not Marathi, Indian group, police department. So that was shocking answer basically. That means police department basically are doing what basically? That was the question basically in Mumbai basically. Mumbai police department basically are doing what basically? Mumbai police department that means Indian police department basically. So it's a union na basically. If Mumbai is doing same that thing, Gujarat is also going to do that only basically one day. Bangalore police are also going to do that only. Why? सबका मालिक एक है. It's like that basically. And wherever basically the risky task basically they have to do, they basically call Pakistani police and Bangladeshi police in India. And they basically achieve their task and that police basically leave India after certain days. So in that time basically where they stay, what they eat, that all basically government are doing the task. Basically. Government are only basically doing the task. That means what government is basically? That is also question. Government basically are doing the task of Pakistanis and Bangladeshis. So what government is doing basically? And public basically are giving the vote to government basically. What to tell basically now? Tell basically. This is not shocking basically. In there basically Vadodara city there are many companies basically. They are giving job to Pakistanis, but they are not giving job to Sunil Arna. This is not shocking basically. That means they want to say that basically तू पाकिस्तान से भी बड़ा दुश्मन है हमारा. That means they want to say that basically. That was shocking basically. This everything government don't know basically. Government knows basically everything. Basically. That is Congress and BJP government. Basically. They know everything basically. But they are not telling everything. Why? That might be some reason basically. Because they are also getting controlled by set of group. That also might be problem basically. but we can't say 100%. But this is a real story basically. Lots of Pakistani people basically are working in many software companies in Vadodara city, and they are basically then basically leaving to Pakistan. So for their basic, them people, for that people basically they have this place, they have the money basically. But for Sunil Nair basically there is no job and there is no money in Vadodara city. So that was shocking basically, right? Shocking behavior basically. So that was a shocking basically. That was not shocking basically. That is shocking actually. So that is basically not our problem basically. One day government only going to suffer basically. That is not our problem. But government are government basically. They know basically if they can take Pakistani in India basically, then they know everything basically. Lots of people says that who knows that basically the in parliament also basically who are sitting. That also basically is the question basically. Who are sitting basically in the parliament house? Who knows basically that that person basically is who? That is also question basically. That is also question basically. So we can't basically interfere in this basically. But ultimately, public is only going to suffer basically. That is the one thing. If Pakistanis basically are getting job in India, that means that many place basically was supposed to give to India basically, Indian nationality. But that post is not getting to Indian people basically. They are getting to Pakistanis basically. So one of the person told that is like that basically the Pakistani president basically and their group basically and their family basically are staying in India. But that type of thing basically, do you think basically that type of thing basically is possible? Because politics basically is very dangerous thing. Basically. You can't predict anything. Basically. Politics thing basically it's very dangerous. You can't predict anything basically. That is very dangerous basically. Politics basically. One of the person told that up to that level basically that Pakistani president family basically currently ruling Pakistani prime minister basically is staying in India basically because politics basically is very dangerous basically. Even basically the Chanakya group basically will watch this video basically and he will basically will shocked basically. मतलब real में मतलब it's like that basically. Because it's connected to peace department that is the Shanti group because they said that basically we want Shanti in India. So for that basically they might have taken Pakistani basically president and prime minister family to India. Might possible basically but 100% basically I can't say. Only peace department basically can do and peace department basically are connected with police department also. So there are many police basically who are with peace department. So one of the person told that मतलब really ये सब मतलब सही है कि just फेंकम फेंक है. Then basically you check it basically whether this is wrong or right. So one of the person told that basically how basically that can be managed. Few things are basically impossible. Few things basically are impossible. For example, America president basically he's supposed to stay in America basically, but he's staying in India basically. So the energy basically which he's supposed to get in America, he's getting in Vadodara basically. Then basically where the America president basically he's staying basically in America, who is that basically? That means somebody know that basically. What? This thing basically, which I told them, that is what 100 crore child is going to happen. That entire user story is already created in the other planet. Their 100 crore child is already happened. They basically already become the child, then basically young, then basically the older age. And then basically they died also. And their user stories basically are connecting to 100 crore child. Here basically we assume that basically 100 crore child is already done. And there basically the entire planet basically has ended with the ended user story. So that was shocking basically, yeah, basically. So one of the person told that you are basically discussing what basically. After 2 days, basically the big earthquake is going to come. That actually is a topic basically. That we are discussing actually. That is very dangerous topic, huh, basically. That is very dangerous topic. So one of the person told that Chanakya Nidhi basically, that is the political people basically, are thinking up to this level basically. You will not able to believe that. In this basically the one more group has entered, that is peace group, that is the Shanti group. They say that basically we want peace in India. So for that peace basically if we are taking Pakistani Prime Minister and President family in India, that basically we are going to take. In that basically police department also basically we say that basically we will help you basically Shanti group. Like this basically we will give job of Indian nationality to Pakistanis, and like Sunila Nair basically will sit at home. Like Sunila Nair basically will sit at home, and Pakistani people basically will do the work, and they will rule the half of the India. So you can just imagine basically, yeah. मतलब क्या है मतलब what India is basically now, because nobody is telling anything basically. That means basically you will do whatever you want to do in India. इंडिया तुम्हारे बाप का है कि तुमको जो चाहे कर सकते हो तुम, वॉट एवर बेसिकली यू वांट टू डू, बिकॉज दिस कनेक्ट्स टू दैट स्टोरी ओनली बेसिकली, दैट हिंदुस्तान तुम्हारे बाप का है, जो चाहे करना करो. That means this only basically is, they are telling them basically that. They are telling, they are basically keeping Pakistani president and prime minister basically in India and giving the half of the job to Pakistanis. That means India तुम्हारे बाप का है मतलब. Without Congress and BJP basically government, this is possible basically. That is not possible basically. That means peace department, that is the Shanti group basically. They are controlling politics also. Because in this peace basically you will finish the entire India basically. You will give basically half of the job to Pakistanis in the peace, in the name of peace. And slowly basically you will finish the Hindustan peace group. So that was shocking here basically. In the name of peace basically, you will do anything basically. And that means one of the person basically is not telling anything basically. That means you will do whatever basically you want to do with that particular person basically. Indian people basically are peace. That means you will basically kill that Indian person basically. Indian people basically are not telling anything basically. That means you will kill Indian people basically. Because Indian people basically believe in peace basically. That means you will do anything basically to that Indian people basically in the name of peace. Because Indian people basically believe in peace basically. That basically I know. But that doesn't mean that basically you will do anything basically. So political people basically see basically up to what level they have gone basically. Up to what level they have gone, cross their boundary basically. That you see basically. They actually crossed that boundary basically. In this basically army group also basically supported them basically. That is also question basically. Because army groups are giving the security to them. That means one person told that basically Indian army will get end and Pakistani army will enter into India basically. That also one of the person told that basically one day. And one day basically India basically will replace with Pakistan basically. That is real basically, a reality basically that is. Because everything happens slowly basically. So Pakistani will do job here basically and Sunil Arnair basically will sit at home basically on the name of peace basically. So that was basically shocking behavior basically. One of the person told that basically. It's a really shocking basically, yeah, basically. It's not shocking basically. Chanakya Nidhi basically. Because this is the only way basically for peace. So in the name of Chanakya Nidhi basically, you will do anything basically. Even basically Supreme Court also basically supported this. That is also basically shocking, yeah, basically. It's not shocking basically. Lots of people says that basically हमारा ये काम नहीं हुआ. So basically we will go to court, we will go to police station, we will go there. Police station basically I have experience basically. They just throw the complaint to dustbin basically. They basically never listen you basically. Why they will listen here basically? Because half of the Pakistani police basically are in India basically. So it might possible that the complaint basically which I given to that person basically, he might be Pakistani in Mumbai city. But that is possible basically. One of the person told that. Do you think basically up to that level basically the political party will cross their boundary? Because anything is possible basically in politics. That basically I know. Any damn level basically they will do. Any damn level basically. Bad thing basically. So this is not bad basically. And few people say that basically we are generating job here basically, but you are not getting job basically. That means something problem is there basically. From that basically somebody tracked this basically that half of the job is given to the Pakistanis. That was shocking basically. And one day basically India will become Pakistan, and their name of India basically will be replaced with Pakistan. This will happen basically. Mark my word basically. This will happen. Mark my word basically. So the problem is simple basically. Job basically is not getting. But why job is not getting? Job is getting generated. Job is getting generated by the MBA groups, by the businessmen. But why the job is not getting basically? When we calculated, half of the job basically, Pakistani groups are doing. That also within India basically. And the people basically who are supposed to do job, they are sitting at home basically. Like me basically. So that is basically literally basically it's a shocking. So that basically topic basically I discussed. Reason Sunilar Nair basically generation ended by Mumbai. That is by Indian nationality. So one of the person told that he, really basically my generation has not ended. Just telling us an user story. Why basically I discuss this user story? Because to connect this story basically, 100 crore child is going to come. In that basically my number is not there. My child basically will not happen. That user story is already basically The 100 crore child basically they are going to do what na basically. That is already basically decided in that planet basically. And that planet basically data is already taken to Earth planet basically. So that is basically very dangerous thing. यार basically. This is not dangerous thing basically. The one of the person to यार basically हमने तो कभी मतलब ऐसा सुना नहीं है basically. Because the world is created on certain level of assumption. But in this basically we have not added this basically. Because you want to say that basically the computer idea basically which was generated in Earth planet, it was generated long before in other planet. So Earth planet people basically are doing which kind of task basically. That is also the question basically. That is also question. That Earth planet people basically are doing which kind of task basically. That is basically very dangerous thing basically which is discussed in this video basically. It's not dangerous basically, it's very dangerous. That is very shocking also. So one of the person basically from satellite told that basically we done the analysis basically and they came to into conclusion that basically you are not getting job basically the problem is in Vadodara city. Due to Vadodara city only the conflict basically has happened. Somebody is basically playing with your career basically. So one of the satellite person told that basically entire Vadodara basically we will take or basically few people only basically who are creating the problem. And Vadodara city is by default controlled by Mumbai city. Because Mumbai city is telling that basically we have created the software companies and we have launched the software companies in India, sorry, in Vadodara city. Because there are lots of companies basically, lots of person basically say that basically like this. For example, there are few software companies like 3i Infotech, Capgemini, Accenture, Patani. These all groups are connected with some energy companies like IPCL is there, Reliance is there, because they are basically creating the software energy basically. The software company basically don't know about the energies. They only prepares the software basically because they don't know that basically they basically don't know that basically the software basically can prepare vegetables also. From software basically fruits also basically can prepare. From software basically oil also basically can prepare. From software petrol also basically can prepare. In simple language, from software basically each and every human needs basically can be prepared. Many less software company basically might be knowing this, but might be knowing basically because the task is happening of human creation, human need creation basically from India. That means one of the few software company basically know this basically, which just now basically I told. So one of the person told that the nature basically. Then one of the person told that how many nature item basically are there which are connected with that 100 crore child. That is actually question basically. Because mountain basically is very old. So trees basically are there. Trees are coming from the seeds basically, right? Seeds basically are dumped, and few seeds basically are dumped when the Earth planet was only basically was created. Few seeds basically are created by Earth planet. Earth planet basically human group basically has created the seeds. So that's very dangerous thing. And basically just now basically you discuss in this video basically that is shocking basically. That actually shaked the entire nuclear industry basically. Because nuclear industry basically has not developed. They have not added this. They know that basically ideas are basically coming from somewhere. Few people say that the software companies are generating the ideas. But what is the source basically? They are also taking from the data, na, basically. They are taking from some one of the nuclear power company, energy company, power company. They are taking the nuclear power company are taking data from where basically. They are not preparing basically. If they are preparing, then from where they are preparing. So if you will connect this everything basically, you will connect to that planet basically. And that planet says that we have already created this 100 crore child user stories. That is 100 crore birth has happened, child has happened, young age basically they have completed their old age also, and they basically died also. Up to that level basically we have done. So that basically you can just imagine basically. I basically can't even. So in next video basically we are going to see little bit more about this topic, that is lava creation, and that 100 crore child, 100 crore child basically which is going to happen in our planet. But before the child is going to happen, their replica basically it is already created. Child is also created in the other planet. Birth is also done. They basically have become young also. They become crossed their older age also, and they basically died also there. And that entire user story basically has dumped to Earth planet. So that is basically shocking. Basically. So that basically few more things basically we are going to discuss in next video.